and that's very disappointing news about Jack Leach. But Somerset, you know, they're going great guns. They've only, well, they will have played 4 games at the end of this one, and they could easily find themselves up there at the top, which is interesting. Yorkshire currently in 5th on 48, Hampshire 6th on 39, Surrey only on 37. But this is a table that's not had the points from the games already added. So basically, it's the top 3 we're looking at the moment in Notts, Essex, and Lancashire. And how that's all going to shake up at the end, with the matches still to be completed, we will find out. Division 2 yesterday. Well done to the teams who did ever so well, including Leicestershire. They've got themselves up to 4th at the moment on 44 points, having played 4. But Warwickshire, they're up there, and as last year, Kent made a strong start, and they've done likewise again. They're on 61 points, which is 15 behind Warwickshire. They played the same number of games. Sussex have played a game more. They're on 54 points. Then Leicestershire on 44. Then it's Derbyshire, Glamorgan, Middlesex, Gloucestershire, Durham, and Northants. So those Division 2 games remaining. We've got Derbyshire against Durham, with Derbyshire's second innings won without loss, trailed by 92 runs, and Gloucestershire following on there against Middlesex at 66 for 2, and they trail by 179 runs. That result yesterday involving Lancashire and Nottinghamshire, it had everybody saying the same thing, but dare I say, a little more genuine than perhaps we use this line all the time. You know, how competitive, how tight this division is. Anybody can beat anybody, and we always say it, and it is sort of true. But the way the results are shaking up this season, more than ever.
Absolutely, because it looked yesterday at one point like Worcestershire might beat Essex.
Yeah. And
then Essex came back and won it by, what, 39 runs. So, yes, this season, nobody... I thought Notts were having an Essex type run away with it by the end of May, and then they go and lose. It's the irony in all of this, of course, is that we take a break after this round of games for a while, because it's just getting into the sort of flow of it, and then we take a break for the one-day stuff. But when we are back mid-June, it'll be very interesting to see what that table looks like, because Nottinghamshire now, having lost, sort of have been hauled back a touch by everybody else.
Momentum does change, because although people do have 1 or 2 players and maybe are a little bit more favourable to the limited overs over first-class cricket, it does have an impact on individuals and teams.
And also teams change. So I know we've spoken about it already, but Dean Algar will have left. Virat Kohli will come in. So Surrey's Will Mork will be fit from a Surrey point of view. From a Yorkshire point of view, no Joe Root, no Johnny Bairstow. There you go. So those that have done a job in that first 4 or 5 games of the season, you might not see them again. No, dynamics will change, which actually I think is quite interesting as well, but it's not ideal, is it? No.
Not ideal.
No.
However, we do not live in an ideal world.
We don't.
And on that note, Church, I'm going to hand over to you and let everyone ponder on that for a little while.
Lovely thought for a Monday.
And Johnny Barron will come in.
Thank you very much, Kevin Howes. So, we are out there in the middle. Surrey are out there in the middle, and here come Messrs Bairstow and Leaning, and Sam Curran will have the ball in his hands. As I say, what a day it was yesterday for the young man. 6 for 100th first-class wicket, and it sort of had it all confirmed this morning that he's the 5th youngest to 100 first-class wickets, but he hasn't taken 100 yet for Surrey. But he's the 5th youngest Surrey bowler to 100 first-class wickets. The youngest, Waqar Younis. He was only 18 years old. Good morning, Johnny Brown. The other thing to mention, which is a good sign, is Mr. Mornay Morkel's 12th manning and stood up at mid-on. Now, that's a bad sign in the fact that it means that Conor McCurr is not out there, having got injured yesterday. But it's a good sign that Morkel's doing some fielding, isn't
it just?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Churchy.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning indeed.
So 3 slips in there, sweeper on the cover rope, extra cover, mid-off, Mornay Morkel a wideish mid-on. There's the deep mid-wicket, and Amar Verdi at long leg. Verdi probably will start from the pavilion end. Sam Curran with the first ball of the day into Johnny Bairstow. Bairstow lets it go outside his off stump, And that's into the gloves of Ben Folkes, moving away to his right-hand side.
Oh, here we are. Monday morning here in South London, Churchy. Good, a few in, aren't they? Rolling into the pavilion. Not as many as we've seen across the weekend and Friday, understandably. But I expect this crowd to build up this morning as the game develops.
Definitely, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the day and the game develops. As Sam Curran, left arm over the wicket, he comes to Johnny Bairstow. Bairstow, I think, has just about pulled the bat inside the line of that. We'll see it again in a moment. He's down to do a touch of guarding. The key thing is, this has been a terrific pitch in that the bowlers have always felt in the game, but the batsmen have been able to make runs as well. So it's been a fantastic cricket pitch, this.
Well, what will be interesting is to see how Yorkshire go about their business this morning.
Well, it's a more sedate start from Johnny Bairstow than yesterday. As in over the wicket goes Sam Curran to him. Bairstow's looking to work leg side. That hops on him a touch. Hits the thigh guard. Rolls out there to extra cover. And there's no... I don't know, but it was almost an angry innings from Johnny Bairstow. Just walked out there and looked to smash everything, and did. And it was absolutely brilliant from him yesterday.
Well, he was very unlucky not to get 100, which would have been an absolute belter.
Looking forward to that. We thought it could be 100 before lunch at one stage, because obviously we had the extra...
Couldn't get the strike, could he?
No, 10 minutes. In over the wicket comes Sam Curran to Johnny Bairstow. A shout for LBW, and hands kept down. It must have been tight because he was on the drive. I just wonder whether height is the issue. Johnny Bairstow was on the drive, and we'll see it again in a second. Ooh, that's tight. That is tight. That's all I'll say. That's tight.
Oh,
unless he's hit it.
That can only be.
That's all I can think, is that he's hit it. Sam Curran cannot believe that's not been given.
Oh,
so
dear.
all I can think is he's hit that, Johnny Bairstow.
It's out, isn't it? I mean, that's the only thing that could have done him. But classic left arm delivery to the right hander, isn't it? Swinging back in. You drive against Sam Curran at your absolute peril.
Left arm over the wicket he comes to Bairstow's using his feet, and this one's going across Johnny Bairstow, and he lets it go outside his off stump. It's quite a good bloke to have stood at mid-on as well, isn't it?
Wow.
Just wandered across, Mr. Morkel.
You know my thoughts on Morné Morkel. I think he's been one of the best, hasn't he? Absolutely fantastic. On the basis that 2 tests ago he picked up 11 wickets against Australia.
And isn't it great to see a bloke like that who's actually out there doing some 12th man stuff? In over the wicket comes Sam Curran, and this is left alone by Johnny Bairstow. A maiden over, but an interesting start. Big shout for LBW. I think Sam Curran's just discussing that with umpire Saggers. 142 for 5 here on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. BBC Radio Leeds, BBC Radio London. Final day of this one. And well, of course, your statement and it's a good one. Your statement before you knew Surrey had signed Morné Morkel was the county that signed Morné Morkel. If they can keep him on the park,
that's the key.
That's the key. You added that bit later, but
no, it's in the original.
Is it in the original statement?
Yeah.
We'll win the county championship.
Well, I tell you what, they got every chance. Every chance. If Morné Morkel comes into proceedings from this point onwards, if he can play those games in June, I tell you what.
Well, it's a very good sign that he's out there fielding. Ricky Clark from the pavilion end it will be to get us started this morning. Coming in over the wicket to Jack Leaning, and Leaning's letting it go outside his off stump. Talking with Sam Curran last night, and sort of, sorry to use modern parlance, but said that the bowlers, they hunted well in a pack, the Surrey bowlers, which was what they didn't do against Worcestershire, but they've all complemented each other perfectly over the last 3.5 days. But Yorkshire will feel, if these two can get in, there is still batting to come as well, as Ricky Clark is over the wicket to the right-handed Leaning, who's pushing forward. That beats the outside edge of the bat, and taken by Ben Folkes, moving away to his right-hand side.
So, Church, you'll like this one's question for you. In my humble opinion, in the 11 years that I've done this gig with you, Morné Morkel is the second most high-profile 12th man I've seen for Surrey. Who do you think, in my opinion, is the most high-profile 12th man?
Oh, that's a good question. The most high-profile 12th man for Surrey in your 11. Show her back.
That's the man.
Yes.
That is the man.
Clark is in, and this is turned by Jack leading into the leg side, and he'll pick up 2. Well, he was almost the mascot, wasn't he? For the one-day game, bless him. 144 for 5. He was fantastic.
Changing Chris Murtaugh's gloves. I
Yes,
remember.
running out there, and photos with the mascot.
Yeah. Kenny Kennington
He's
back
the-
then.
he is the only cricketer that's
He
ever
was my
played-
brother-in-law, wasn't he, back then?
Was it?
Yes.
What,
yes.
Kenny Kennington?
Kenny Kennington, do you
The
remember? Before
mascot.
the mascot, yeah.
this is what a surreal start to the week this is. I do apologise, everybody. Here comes Ricky Clark in over the wicket to Jack leading, who's forward, pushes this one out into the offside, and there's no run. You are still listening to BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra, but Johnny Barron's gone off on a sort of stream of consciousness. So
Sorry.
Going
Yes.
back to, so I remember Shower back to 12th Manning, because Surrey, it was that sort of last throw of the dice signing, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. And his main contribution was getting the over rate up to minus
minus 9.
Minus
No,
9
minus 9.
in the first
I
session.
remember watching Ramprakash at mid-on, his head just slowly
Having won the toss and fielded.
oh, as Ricky Clark comes in over the wicket to leaning, turns him round outside edge, and this will run away down towards that third man boundary rope mark. Stoneman slides, does very well to get it inside the rope, because there's not a lot of room down there, and the throw will come in. 2 more to leaning, he moves on to 17. But so Shoabatta played his first championship game against Hampshire, and I don't it's not rude of me to say he got progressively slower. And then was 12th man in a one-day game. And I just remember him having a lot of photos with Kenny Kennington, the mascot, who turned out to be your brother-in-law.
My brother-in-law.
Never knew that. Over the wicket comes Ricky Clark, and leaning, pushes this one down towards backward point, and there's no run. End of the over, 146 for 5 then. 4 added this morning by Yorkshire, 4 all added by leaning. He's on 17, Besto's on 25. Couple of overs. He's the only, genuinely, Shoabatta was terrific value. He was, what a smashing bloke. But he's the only person who's ever come up to me and gone, go and get your microphone, we're doing an interview. And he was like, oh, okay then. And
Didn't he have a bit of a round trip to get here? Visa issues.
there were,
You have to go back.
Yes.
And then
I'm not sure. Yes,
He did,
Yes,
didn't he?
he did. He got to the airport and had to go back, as this one's left alone outside the off stump. Johnny Besto lets this one go. Yes, well, he got as far as the airport here, but had the wrong visa, I think. So I had to go back, because I can remember being at Canterbury when he was meant to arrive, and he never did. So, and then he did arrive, and he made his debut against Hampshire. But this first over was the speed of light. As over the wicket comes Sam Curran, and well played, Johnny Bear. So that just bounced on him. Bottom hand comes off the bat handle, and it rolls back up the pitch, and there's no run. Because to be fair to him, he was coming back from injury, wasn't he? So, as I say, his first over was the absolute speed of light as he ran in from the pavilion. It's like watching an aeroplane slowly building up on the runway for that first over, but then it sort of got like the aeroplane not actually taking off, and then the aeroplane stalling halfway up the runway. As left arm over the wicket comes Sam Curran. This is whipped by Johnny Bairstow, and that's our first boundary of the day. Through the leg side, nicely played, roll of the wrist from Johnny Bairstow, and away for 4 runs. And the 150 comes up for Yorkshire. But really lovely man and terrific cricketer, of course. And he was looking to come back from injury, wasn't it? So he had his run out for Surrey.
didn't quite come off.
No,
From memory.
no. 150 for, but
It's a
he's
story.
the most high-profile 12th man you've ever seen. As this is left alone outside the off stump by the right-handed best. And the only reason we're saying that, of course, this conversation started in the fact that Mornay Morkel is 12th manning for Surrey today, stood up at mid-off.
Well, it's a terrific sight for anybody who's interested in the Brown Hatters, seeing him out there. And at what stage at whatever stage he's introduced. Can you imagine him in a fight?
Well, it's this is interesting as well from a Yorkshire point of view for Scarborough next month. If Morkel's going to be fit for Scarborough, if you've got Mornay Morkel piling in at you at Scarborough, then you know that's an added dimension. 150 for 5 as here is Sam Curran. This one's left alone, and well, Ben Folkes has rolled the ball back and hit the stumps just in case Johnny Bairstow went for a wander. Actually, no, he didn't hit the stumps. I think he hit Johnny Bairstow's boot. Did Ben Folkes? Don't worry, everybody. There's no conspiracy theory there from Ben Folkes.
Well, it's worth a go, isn't it?
Absolutely, because he was just going for a bit of a wander there, Johnny Bairstow.
It's the kind of thing you see in the village or club game on a regular basis.
And it goes down as stumped, and you think, what a bit of keeping that must have been. As in over the wicket goes Sam Curran. Forward goes Johnny Bairstow, pushes this one out towards extra cover, and there is no run. End of the over, 150 for 5, then Yorkshire. One huge shout for LBW on Johnny Bairstow from Sam Curran was not given. It's been one gorgeous shot so far from Johnny Bairstow through the leg. So what a day this is, though.
Well, it's lovely, and I mean, yesterday as we finished up here, that very, very pleasant weather conditions, weren't they, outside?
Oh,
and we've
lovely,
got that again this morning.
Isabel Duncan sat at the back of the box, very kindly bowled at you for an hour last night.
I have to say, took cover drive
took you to the cleaners.
She did, didn't she?
With your yellow ball.
I mean, yes.
Ricky Clark from the pavilion end comes in over the wicket, and that's going past Jack Leaning's little push outside the off stump, taken by Folkes away to his right hand side.
Still hard work, isn't it? Batting out there is still hazardous.
150 for 5. Did hard work last night when you were in the net.
That.
Nipping around.
Lovely delivery from...
Nipping around again.
Oh dear, he's a decent cricketer, isn't he? Ricky Clark.
Scott Borthwick clapping away at second slip. As waiting once more over his over his bat is Jack Leaning. As in over the wicket comes Ricky Clark to him, and Leaning's turning this one leg side. Amar Verdi goes bustling off to do the fielding. They'll pick up a single. One more to the total.
He had a good day at the office yesterday.
He did. 151 for 5. Well, the bit of bowling to get rid of Joe Root. The clip on that has gone round everywhere. Yeah, with your commentary on, which is excellent.
I got there in the end.
Yes, yeah, no, it's great.
In the end,
it's great. And the photo as well.
It's always difficult from here, though, isn't it? When we're behind the batsman, if you like, to work out exactly when your view is obscured by the keeper, to work out exactly what's gone on.
Terrific piece of commentary. Clark is in, and Bairstow's looking to whip this off his hip. Gets nothing on it, taken by Ben Folkes away to his left-hand side.
I think actually, trying to think. I was listening back to some of the clips yesterday. I think it's trying to think who I was a little harsh on. One of the dismissals got the description of a very ordinary bit of batting.
Oh dear, that's not like you.
And actually looking back on it, and to be fair to me, it was.
Oh, right, well, that's all right. But there was that brilliant photo as well from one of the photographers.
Yeah.
Root just going on the drive, and it's spinning in through the gate as Clark is in, and Bairstow drives on the up, straight out towards extra cover, and Rory Burns comes around to do the fielding. And there is no run. Those surprised looking flats away to our left hand side with the eyebrows on the top, raised eyebrows away to our left.
The cricketers is finally being redeveloped, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I saw in the chairman's report.
I
can't quite work out what it's been done up into, but something's happening to it.
I don't think they've started yet. From the looks of it. Well, I hope they haven't. Ricky Clark is in over the wicket to Bairstow, gone! It's bounced on Johnny Bairstow. Little outside edge. Taken by Ben Folkes away to his right hand side. That is a cracking delivery from Ricky Clark. And it's the big one. Johnny Bairstow gone for 29. That has just bounced on Johnny Bairstow. Lovely piece of bowling. I think Johnny Bairstow initially thought, oh, I might run this to third man. Then all of a sudden it's got big on him. And Surrey have Bairstow gone for 29, 151 for 6.
Oh, Ricky Clark again. What a performer he has been for Surrey since he's come back into this side. And it was a beautiful delivery. Just got big on Bairstow, and actually he indicated, just after, just looking on the replay, he just indicated that it hopped on him. And it really was a very, very, very good bit of bowling. And Surrey, well, they'll see the spine of Yorkshire now dispatched, won't they? Still a bit of batting to come, of course. Bresnan, the next man in. And he's got some good runs against Surrey in recent years, hasn't he? A couple of good knocks in the... Did he get runs last year, Church, in the year? Certainly in the semi-final he got runs, didn't he?
Well, and of course, a couple of years ago, in that when Middlesex, sorry to mention it,
Oh.
Yorkshire, but of course he made that. Well, basically, he kept Yorkshire in the game.
Well, it did, because it got the batting point, didn't it? It was a fantastic 100 at headquarters.
Anyway, can I personally thank Johnny Bairstow there, because I loved watching him bat yesterday. I didn't see a huge amount of him this morning, but
Yeah, that's the only disappointment, isn't
yeah,
it?
it is, because yesterday morning was just pure cricketing exhilaration for an hour.
And the thing about it is, it could have. I think he was 87 not out, wasn't he, at lunchtime? It could easily have been a ton before lunch, and that is the story, and that would have been a lovely, lovely story. And it's just such a shame he didn't get there. Basically, poor old Stephen Patterson was just being pinned at the other end for the last 15 minutes before lunch.
And it was just the situation he came out in. And I can only remember one ball he let go during his entire innings yesterday, Johnny Bairstow. Great stuff, it really was. Tim Bresnan getting ready for his first delivery. Ricky Clark comes in over the wicket to Bresnan, and Bresnan's forward, covering up, pushing this one back up the pitch. There's no run, but successful over from Ricky Clark, the wicket of Johnny Bairstow. And Yorkshire are 151 for 6 here on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra, BBC Radio London and BBC Radio Leeds. And Surrey will think to themselves, 4 more deliveries. Yorkshire will think to themselves, just 34 more runs, then we'll see where we are.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Because 6 wickets down at this stage, can't be many sides who've batted out a day, if that makes sense, from this position.
Well,
so you're almost thinking, well, we've got to have try and put something.
Well, the thing,
get parity and then get something on the board.
Well, the thing is, the one thing for Yorkshire is also what they did at Chelmsford. So in that dressing room, if you win a game like that, you'd still feel you can get out of a game like this. It will need something spectacular, as here is Sam Curran leaning forward, pushing this one down into the leg side, and there's no run.
Well, on the Yorkshire angle, Headingley 81 territory, this, isn't it? Well, in fact, I think when Graham Dilley was batting at 9 that day, wasn't he, for England? So 7 wickets down, they were still 100 plus behind at that stage.
Then, well, the rest as they say, is history.
Yeah.
Sam Curran, left arm over the wicket he comes, and turned off the stumps by leaning. Swung back at him. He's actually played it very well. It's down to the long leg boundary rope and away for 4. That was very well played, because it did swing late again from Sam Curran. Leanings on to 22, 155 without loss.
I mean, I guess Yorkshire got to think here, somehow scrambling together 150 odd runs, set maybe Surrey 130, and then see what happens.
That's genuinely wobbled from Sam Curran, seeing it again. That's genuinely started going away and then wobbled back in. That's gone sort of twice in the air. Extraordinary. Look at the breeze as well. Up on his toes goes Jack Leaning. If you get a chance on the stream, and I did hit the replay button for that delivery, the previous delivery to Leaning that went for 4 wobbled from Sam Curran. Genuinely wobbled in the air. Amazing stuff. 155 for 6.
He is, when he gets it right,
A nightmare.
Is a nightmare, as he did against Hampshire and as he has done today.
Bustles in once again, Sam Curran. Whippy action, of course. Leaning's in behind this, pushes it out into the offside, and there's no run.
The beauty of a 5-man attack, isn't it? Admittedly, we got Conor McCare out of proceedings, but if you've got somebody up your sleeve like Sam Curran in a 5-man attack, doesn't matter if he doesn't, because he's pretty tight anyway at the best of times, but he's going to win you games. He's going to win you games.
Well, he was very much at pains to point out that the other bowlers helped him get his wickets by the way they kept it tight. As in, over the wicket comes Sam Curran to leaning, tucks this one up towards mid-on, and there's no run. I think, he's doing himself down there because they weren't knocking out the middle stump. But I know what he was on about is that it's this whole bowling as a pack, as a unit.
Yeah, I think that is kind of media speak, isn't it? Bottom line is, with him, he'll get you 6 or 7 in certain games in the right conditions for zip, and that's what determines if you've got a match winner like that.
Left arm over the wicket he comes, and leaning, that's hitting the thigh guard as he looks to work leg side. Leg by is the signal. End of the over, end of me, 156 for 6. And after a few words from Johnny Barrett, he'll be joined by Isabel Duncan.
Yes, thank you, Mark Church. 156 for 6. Yorkshire. Bit of work to be done to get up to parity. And then, of course, to try and put something on the board. Ricky Clark will continue to wheel away from the... I think he'll continue to wheel away from the the Vauxhall end. Already dismissed Johnny Bairstow this morning. He went for 29. Massive start for them. Here is Ricky Clark at the top of his mark from the Vauxhall end. Leaning, the right-hander on strike. Couple of slips and a gully. Here is Clark to leaning, who's playing that very nicely off the back foot. Rode the bounce. Cut it away in front of square. On the offside. A through point for 4 runs. That is a nice shot from Leaning. He's played a couple this morning. He's on 26 not out. The score up to 160 for 6. Isabel, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Shame about Bairstow out for 29.
Well,
like the blistering innings of yesterday.
Yeah, so that's you could hear a sort of collective sort of dousing of breath, couldn't you, when Bairstow did go, because he provided such dramatic entertainment yesterday. I'm sure nobody here would have begrudged another knock from him. Here again is Ricky Clark. He's into Leaning, who defends up to Rory Burns at extra cover, and there's no run.
Well, the wicket will be playing a bit differently today. I mean, it's 4 days old now, and it's certainly faded. I mean, a lot of that vibrant greenness has faded away in the last few days. We had plenty of sunshine yesterday, plenty of sunshine today. Not quite so easy. We're all interested to see how Verdi fares as well today when he comes on. Plenty of rough out there for him. Bit of rough.
Well, the other thing is will he come on? I'm sure we'll see him at some stage. The seamers are doing a pretty good job thus far. Here is Ricky Clark again. He's into Leaning, he leaves alone outside the off stump. Yeah, the point I was just making to Churchy, actually, Isabel, before you came on, was that in a 5-man attack, which Surrey have got the luxury of doing so because they've got 2 men who can bat in that bowling lineup, one of which is, of course, Sam Curran, the other is Ricky Clark, the man in possession. You can afford to... You can carry Sam Curran. Carries the wrong word, but he can be your massive luxury item in there, because he'll nip out a couple with the new ball, but when he gets it absolutely spot on in the right conditions, he is a serious handful, as he has been twice so far this season. Here is Ricky Clark again. He's into Leaning, who defends on the onside, and then coupled in that attack is you've then got this kind of evergreen renaissance man, Ricky Clark. There's nothing he can't do. Who can operate in any condition, hold up an end, take wickets, bowl long spells. It's just a captain's dream to have at the front of your attack.
Yeah, and even without Conor McCurr as well. I mean, I don't know what's happened to him today, because they lost the seam bowling of Conor McCurr with a bit of an injury, but in fact he's not really required at the moment.
Here is Clark again. Into Leaning, who leaves alone. That's another decent delivery. The kind of delivery, actually, that Bairstow was trying to run down to 3rd man. Leaning thought better of getting anywhere near that one.
Well, he's got that sharpness, hasn't he, Ricky Clark? He's quicker than he looks, because he does trundle in at 36 years old. But once he gets to the crease, it's all business from there, and does still bowl with pace.
Well, he's the kind of guy that knows his game, who has the advantage of experience, but also the fact the body's holding together.
Yeah, don't say that. You're going to curse him.
Well, I know.
Follow through and have a tumble.
Yeah, well, exactly. Touch wood.
No, he's in good form.
Ricky Clark again. Who's in to Leaning, who's working off the stumps very nicely, actually up through mid-on. And mid-on gives chase. I think it's Sam Curran up there. They get through for a couple of runs. The score goes up to 162 for 6, Leaning on 28. Breslin still to get off the mark at the end of the over.
Yes, it was a remarkable day, wasn't it? Yes, and you think that 5 of those Yorkshire batsmen are out twice in one day, including Root, of course, the captain of England and the captain of Yorkshire for this match with Balance ill. And those teenagers were ganging up against Root, weren't they? Wow. He was out to Curran in the first innings and then out to Verdi in the second innings. We know all about Verdi's wicket. It's gone viral, hasn't it? You were saying, I heard you talking about it.
Yes, it was a...
Through the gate.
Well, it was a fantastic bit of bowling. Not the greatest bit of batting by the Yorkshire and England captain. Not easy, just satellite dropping in for a couple of championship games, because this is hard-fought cricket. Proper test, isn't it, for the England captain? He hasn't quite got the scores he'd like to go in, and of course what we've seen, of course, is that Pakistan attack is currently dismantling Ireland, and will be, honestly, that game at Lords, if you get a slightly moist weekend, will be absolutely fascinating. Here is Sam Curran again, operating to Breslin, who's clipping nicely off his toes down to Amar Verdi, who's down on the fine leg boundary, pretty square really, just sort of deep square leg almost, down there just by the football goals below the scoreboard. Get through for a single.
Sam Curran still swinging that ball. I mean, it's a pretty old ball, isn't it? It's into its twilight years, really. It's at 64 overs old, but Sam Curran can still swing it, banana it around. A bit like you with that yellow ball last night in the nets. The banana ball. To
be honest, the yellow ball I was bowling to you out in our net yesterday evening mostly ended up being dispatched through the covers. Here is Curran. Oh, big shot for LBW. I think it might just have been pitching outside leg. That's probably what saved Leaning on that occasion. We'll have a little look, but that must have been it. It's one of those that would have struck the stumps. Oh no, I mean that's I'm not quite sure, to be honest. That is pitching on, and perhaps it's doing too much, but I've seen those given.
I think that's a close one.
Yeah.
Could have been going down leg. Benefit of the doubt to the batsman there. I think a good call from the umpire. It was close call.
Referral would have been interesting on that one, because I'm not sure that would have been umpire's call. I think that might have been hitting flush leg stump, but not for us to judge. Here is Curran again, driving sort of circumspectly. Ends up towing it actually up to Morkel, who's up here at mid-on. 163 for 6 still no run.
Curran's taken 7 wickets so far in this match, 6 for 54 yesterday. It was all about the teenagers.
Yeah, fantastic day.
And not forgetting Ollie Pope, of course, 158 not out in
there's not even
first innings.
Not even 60 years between those three. Safe to say that there's plenty of very attractive, decent young cricketers knocking around on the circuit. Here is Curran, full of length. Another big shout for LBW. Must have been tight, very full on Leaning. Squeezed out to Verdi for a leg by. I think that was less likely than the previous delivery. The previous shout, I should say. Just have a look at this again. Oh dear. I mean, that's hit him flush. I think he's quite lucky there, because the umpire has to assume to some extent the ball's going to go on if it hits you on the full toss.
I think he's likely to survive both of
them. I think Sam Curran is not getting a great deal of luck here, because I tell you what, the LBW shout against Bairstow a little earlier in the day, of course, Bairstow no longer a threat. He's gone for 29. That was tight as well. The benefits of the replay system we have here. Here is Curran again, goes past the outside edge. That's a lovely bit of bowling to Breslin. It's been a crack, because he's swung the ball back consistently to the right-handers, and on that occasion just pushing it across Breslin.
That's right, it's good variety here from Sam Curran. Just don't know what to expect from the batsman's point of view, really, and disguises the ball well.
This is hard work, because we've got here a fantastic cricket wicket. You're never really in on this, because it's one that might bounce, might deck on you, but it's the swing of Curran that's the threat here. Curran again into Bresnan, who's almost cut in half. Has he got him? He has. What an amazing bit of bowling from Sam Curran. Gets an outside edge from Tim Bresnan, and this has been an absolute masterclass by the young Surrey man this morning of left arm swing. He has dismantled Bresnan for 1. The score 164 for 7. And wow, Sam Curran has just bowled one of the great overs I've seen in recent times.
Incredible there from the young teenager Curran. And Bresnan, I mean, really was just bamboozled, wasn't he? He was stuck in his crease. It was that extra pace. It was a shortish ball as well, but again came back in and sliced the man in two. And he's on his way back now. And of course Bresnan is always a threat. He's a great all-rounder. One of the last hopes really for Yorkshire in this 4-day game. And really struggling here with the 2 wickets this morning. The big guns, Bairstow and Bresnan, both back in the hut now.
Well, this has been incredible stuff, because this ball is 64 overs old and it's still swinging round corners. And Sam Curran, well, we talked about him being the ultimate luxury to have in the side for those conditions that suit him. But he's like this, he's unplayable. I mean, you know, he has dismantled a very experienced international in the shape of Tim Bresnan. Unlucky not to get Bairstow. Could have had leaning as well in that last over a couple of times. I don't think Surrey even need to worry about the new ball, which is at 16 overs away.
It's just that very valuable left arm, isn't it, that Surrey have in Sam Curran, that actually Yorkshire do lack at the moment. They had it last year with Ryan Sidebottom, but just to have that variety, particularly to the right-hander, and Sam Curran, I think really his stop ball is the one that does come back in to the right-hander, and that's how he's getting his LBWs. But of course he's got the one that goes away as well, and always good to have a lot of those types of balls in your armoury.
Well, that's it. I think that's it, because he's always a threat, because as a modern cricket, you're looking to get a few drives away down the ground or through the covers, but you can never entirely rely on that particular shot against Curran when he's swinging it back into you. And then again, if you're a left-hander, you've got the ball swinging away from you, which is also a massive threat.
It is, cross the line.
Absolutely. Here is Ricky Clark again from the pavilion end, is into leaning, who defends up to Rory Burns at extra cover, and there's no run.
Well, they're still behind, of course, Yorkshire here, trailing by 21 runs, starting the day trailing by 43. 2 wickets have fallen, and a really sorry state of affairs out there for Yorkshire. And you're right, I mean, the ball, relatively old, is still zigzagging around. It's getting a bit of a reverse swing.
Well, it's been an impressive display in English conditions, I guess, because we've had some fairly moist conditions in recent times, so it's kept the ball in good shape. Here is Clark, defended again. Jack leaning, only up as far as mid-off. Jay Durham back with the fielding, and there's no run. A couple of men back. Verdi out on the deep square boundary. And Mornay Morkel, any Surrey fan listening in will be absolutely thrilled to hear that he's on the park as 12th man hit. What a part he could yet play in what could be a hugely entertaining season.
Yeah, so he's very much on the men then. He's had his recuperation. He had a side strain today.
Yeah, side strains are not for the faint-hearted. Horrible injuries. Here is Ricky Clark, and it's left alone by leaning. I've had 2 in my lifetime so far, and they are very struggle to walk with them.
Oh, you've had 2?
Really
so
yeah, I've had a couple of side strains. Yeah, it tends to be. So if you're a right armer, the side strain is down your left side, the intercostal muscle, and nominally it's 6 weeks, but sometimes when Stuart Broad did his, for instance, out in Australia, there was a massive bruise all the way down. He was out for about 3 months plus. Here is Ricky Clark down the leg side. What a grab, almost grab from Ben Folkes. I'm not sure it got a tickle. Lovely bit of athleticism from Ben Folkes, diving away to his left-hand side. But yeah, when Stuart Broad was 2 tours ago, actually it's the tour that England won, Stuart Broad did his side, and there was a bruise pretty much all the way down. It depends, the grade, obviously, the grade of the tear is your key problem, but you can be out for a long period of time, but minimum is around about 6 weeks or so.
And you get that from your side-on delivery, don't you? That's stretching that left arm up.
Absolutely. Here is Ricky Clark, left alone by Leaning. Because that's the thing, you think, oh God, surely it would be down the right side, because that's where all the energy supposedly comes from for a right armour, but not. Bizarrely, it's down the left side is where the trouble starts, and it's horrible. It's a horrible sensation, and what I was saying yesterday, looking at Conor McKerr, obviously merely speculating, but it's often the delivery after you've done it when you really discover, because you think, oh, what was that? And then you go through the motions again, and then you really know how much trouble you're in, but it's, can't do a great deal with it. Although there is one very famous occurrence of somebody playing on with one. Here is Ricky Clark into Leaning, who leaves alone. End of the over, Yorkshire 164 for 7, another tight one from Ricky Clark. Ian Botham picked up a side strain on that 86-87 tour down in Australia, and managed to get himself on the park for the 4th test, just bowling off about 6 or 7 yards.
Ooh.
You know, little gentle dobbers, and still picked up 5 Australian wickets. But it's
he's
not
a tough man, but
not
alcohol's quite a good painkiller, I think, as well, isn't it?
yeah. Obviously, don't try that at home. although interesting enough, apparently
hot toddies are quite good for colds.
Yeah, but apparently there are more isotonic benefits in a pint of lager than there is in a thing of Lucozade.
Really?
Your problem is if you go past the first pint, then the dehydration aspects of the alcohol then take. Apparently, it's a very good recipe for lost body salts. Obviously, don't try that at home.
Guinness as well, of course. A Guinness is a meal in itself, isn't it? If you had a pint of Guinness for lunch.
Yeah, if you're looking to carb load, bang. Absolutely. So here we go. The main event again. Sam Curran, the new man. Stephen Patterson, the right-hander, is on strike. There are 3 slips. Here is Sam Curran from the Vauxhall end. Into Patterson, bowled him! Lovely delivery by Sam Curran. That is the off-stump out of the ground. What a terrific bit of bowling. And Curran finds himself, I think, on a hat-trick. Terrific work. 164 for 8 now, Yorkshire.
Wow, Sam Curran absolutely on fire yet again after a cracking day yesterday. Figures now of 3 for 43 as well. And you're right with the hat-trick, just having a look at his previous over.
Terrific work from Curran. Is that 2 and 2?
Let's
I get
have a
these
look.
wrong sometimes.
Yes, last ball of his previous over was Curran to Bresnan. Out. Caught by Folkes, bowled by Curran. There you go. There you have it.
Thank God, because I called a hat-trick up at Old Trafford last week that wasn't. It was 3 in 4 balls, rather disappointingly. So I'm pretty sure Adam Mountford might have been in the back of the box on that occasion. So at least
it's okay, I've checked it. I've
checked
checked it.
so
As long as Crick Info is telling the truth.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
We're going to go with that. Stephen Patterson, off pole, knocks out. Now, how many in the match is that? Is that 8 for Curran now? Unplayable. Yes. Unplayable. This is an amazing passage of play.
I think it's 9 in the match, isn't it?
Is it 9 in the match? What's he got in this innings? He's got
have a
1,
look.
2. I think he's got.
Well, he's got 3 in this innings. He got 6 in the last. He's taken 9 in the match.
1, 2,
Let's see if he
3,
can take
4,
10.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's
I've
still
only got him
time.
down for 2.
Well, he took a 6
Oh
for
no,
54,
sorry.
didn't he?
Yeah. He got Pajara, didn't he? Knocked his middle stump out. Very well done. Thank you, Isabel. Well, here we go. Hat-trick delivery. And the man to face up is Josh Shaw. And he'll probably be thinking, the thing here, Josh Shaw will be just looking to get a bat on it, which leaves you very exposed on the outside edge as well, potentially. Here is Sam Curran into Shaw, who gets a bat on it. It's squeezed out to mid-wicket. Jade Dernbach with the fielding, and there is no hat-trick for Sam Curran, but it's still a mighty fine display. Swinging back in on Shaw again.
Absolute natural ability to swing this ball. Doesn't matter how old the ball is, whether he's got the new cherry in hand or a ball that is 66 overs old now. He's still getting it to turn around corners here.
Thing is, you see, this time of year, you've still got a relatively lush outfield because of all the rain we've had. That's the secret. Here is Curran again. Is into Shaw, who defends from the crease. Another full-length delivery from Curran. Swing back into the right-hander. The danger here, you see Curran can just literally just run his fingers across the ball and just push the ball across. Shaw here is the other option, bringing the 2 slips and a 4th slip, 1st and 2nd and 4th effectively. Clark, Borthwick and Elgar are the men in there. Curran again, left arm over, Is in to Shaw, who defends. Back up to Mornay. Moore calls up here at mid-on. Well, you have to say, the England selectors will be meeting, of course, tomorrow. The 3 players here who've all performed won't be considerations in the very near future, but you can't help but thinking that Verdi, Curran and Pope must have impressed the assembled media and, of course, and the England captain who's here. Here is Curran to Shaw, who's bowled him again. What a lovely delivery. Off stump again. Rocks back. Sam Curran picks up 3 wickets in the space of 7 balls. This is a stunning display from the young Surrey left-hander, who is 19 years of age, and he has 10 wickets in the match for the first time in his fledgling career. Amazing effort here by Sam Curran. 4 for 9, Yorkshire.
Goodness gracious me, Sam Curran. Amazing with his whippy action, just able to swing that ball all over the place, bamboozling the batsman out there, removing the tail, and Shaw, the last man to fall, clean bowled with that stump, just cartwheeling out of the ground. That's 4 for 43 in the second innings, 6 for 54 in the first innings for Sam Curran. And what a cracker of a day.
I mean, what an effort. He's already gone past 100 first-class wickets, the 5th youngest in history for Surrey to take 100 first-class. It is a terrific effort. He's still 19 years of age. He's been around the circuit for 3 years, his second full season. But this is an extremely impressive effort. And I tell you what, when you can afford to have a left armour of this calibre in the right conditions, he is absolutely unplayable. And remember, in this game, think of the test scalps he's picked up. Joe Root, of course, he picked up in the first innings. Knocked over Pujara's middle stump in this innings. He is a real handful. And if yes, and in a 5-man attack, what a game he's having. Sun's out, remember. This is the Kia Oval, normally run friendly, but it's being played here on the best wicket I have seen at this ground for many a moon. And now we have the left-handed Jack Brooks. Sorry, right-handed Jack Brooks, I should say, who's set up here again.
Yorkshire 21 runs behind here, 1 wicket in hand.
And Jack Brooks wasn't entirely ready.
I think Sam Curran's incredibly eager to go, isn't he?
He is indeed. And
chomping at the bit.
well, here we go. Sam Curran from the Vauxhall end, left arm over. Is into Jack Brooks, who's working it nicely off his toes, down past Verdi, just in front of the scoreboard, in the front of the Bedser stand. That is 4 runs for Jack Brooks. Well, a rare loose delivery, really. He goes up to 4, he's off the mark, and Yorkshire are up to 168 for 9, and Sam Curran, understandably, is getting a knowledgeable crowd here at the Kia Oval for this incredible display of left-arm swing. Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, such a combative cricketer he is. I mean, all that T20 he's played as well would have been brought up on white ball, and just has all those variations as T20 bowlers do, but is able to adapt to the red ball game so well.
Do you know what the trick is? He keeps it really simple. Pushes the odd one across you as a right-hander. Otherwise, he's starting it just outside off stump, looking to bring it back in you. Here is Ricky Clark from the pavilion end into Leaning. Big shout for LBW. Gone! It's all over. Ricky Clark gets his man. Leaning goes for 28. And Yorkshire are bundled out here for 168 in their second innings. And Surrey have their second win in the the county championship. Their second win at home. It has been a terrific display this morning. Bear in mind that Yorkshire started on 142 for 5 this morning, and they're all out for 168, and it's been just about the perfect display from the home side.
Incredible there for Surrey. What a comprehensive win, winning by an innings and 17 runs. Mainly thanks to the teenage gang. Do you want me to go through the score sheet here?
Why not?
Let's have a look at Yorkshire's second innings. Live, top scoring on 58. Caught by Clark, bowled by Verdi. Adam Lees, caught by Borthwick, bowled by Dernbach for 4. Pujara out for a duck, bowled by Curran. Joe Root, bowled by Verdi through the gate for 23. Harry Brook, the youngster LBW, to Verdi. bowled by Verdi for 8. Johnny Bairstow, 29, caught by Folkes, bowled by Clark. And leaning, last wicket to fall, LBW Clark for 28. Bresnan, caught by Folkes, bowled by Curran for 1. And Patterson, bowled by Curran for 0. Josh Shaw, bowled by Curran again for 0. Jack Brooks left stranded on 4 at the end. But it's really the bowling figures that we should be interested in here, as Sam Curran really standing out, of course, with his fifer. He got 6 for 54 in that first innings, and really just finishing up with fantastic figures there from Sam Curran. 6 for 54 in the first innings. Really good stuff. 4 for 47 in the second. Let's make that 5 for 47 in the second.
Well, it has been an amazing display. Bear in mind, this morning Yorkshire have lost 5 wickets in the space of 26 runs, and in fact the last 4 wickets have gone in this. Well, just Jack Brooks, that 4 that he got off the final ball of that Sam Curran over, it was the only runs in that passage of play. The 7th fell on 164, the 8th fell on 164, the 9th fell on 164, and the 10th for 168. It has been a real stunning display. And Surrey will be just so pleased that they managed to wrap this up really efficiently on the 4th day. No wobbles, no prospect of them having an awkward chase in the afternoon. And I have to say, it's one of the best wins I've seen them manage to put together, because they played really outstanding cricket through the course of this game. And to be honest, Yorkshire, Bairstow apart, struggled to live with them through the course of the last 3.5 days.
Yes, it's those bowlers hunting in packs, and we didn't need to see Amar Verdi at all today. I was imagining a day of spin and fizz from Verdi, but not required, as Sam Curran really took over, didn't he, and just used his swinging bananas to finish off the tail there.
Yes, he'll be absolutely delighted, and Surrey will think, well, I mean, the great thing it does, if you're still 19, of course, still, you know, below 20, still a teenager, and the confidence that is going to give you, a match-winning performance against a side stacked with international superstars, 3 of which will be involved in the Indian series in the shape of Pujara, Bairstow and Joe Root, and to knock a side over of that calibre twice without having to bat a second time is quite incredible. I haven't really seen a dominant display by Surrey at home in that kind of fashion for a long period of time. It will give them terrific confidence going forward, and that we don't play here for a while.
And many thanks there to Johnny and to Isabel. Well, that was over rather quickly this morning, wasn't it? And well done to Surrey. Big win, an innings and 17 runs. It means we are down to...
So yes, for those still with us on BBC Radio London and all the Yorkshire stations, it just remains for Isabel and I to say thank you very much for joining us across the last 4 days. I'm trying to think, what are Yorkshire's next commitments, Isabel?
What, the next fixtures?
Yes.
Well, I have to say that I'm not sure I'm going to be the voice of Yorkshire for the next game, so I'm not altogether sure without having to look it up online. But maybe they will continue to employ me.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. But I think there's Royal London fixtures coming up. I think the Surrey first game for Surrey is here at the Kia Oval on Friday, and you will miss none of the action, of course. And we'll be getting underway around 11 a.m. And anyway, thank you very much for joining us across the last 3.5 days, and we will see you on Friday for the first round of 50 over matches.
Cleared.